How you guys doing? This is 2022, and I said before, this is going to be the year that I will be giving buggies a chance. And my first buggy that I've acquired for 2022 is this LOSI 8.
You think you know me?
I just came home with it. I haven't really even given it much of a look over. And I figured, why not do a real RC overview with the NitroGang. Now, Team LOSI, I've worked on a lot of their RCs in the past. The LOSI LST, the LST2, the xxx-nt. And there have always been things that kind of irritate me, but things that I also kind of like. So let's go over what I got here. We're gonna do a quick little chassis overview, see what it is, talk about should you get one, when you will get one, and how you're going to be making Nitro great again for 2022. You're looking at everything I got with this RC. I wound up paying $250. It's a very good deal. Let me give you the history on this. The owner was a cool dude. I met him. He might in fact be watching this video later. He broke it in. I did check. The motor has a very good compression. You know, sometimes when they say they broke it in, what that actually means is they broke it. But in this case, the guy knew a lot about Nitro. Big shout out to him for giving me a great deal on this LOSI RTR 8 buggy. And he did not try to kill it. I could tell it is basically brand new. The wheels do not even have any sign of being on the road. In terms of fuel, he gave me the fuel he had. So this is some classic Byron Race Gen 2. 30% nitro, 11% oil. A very nice blend. Now this is something I've always wanted for quite some time. This is LOSI Nitrotane. 30% race formula made with VP Racing fuels. You could actually get this. It's about $22 a quart on A-Main. I'll put a link to this fuel. If you want to run rich and loud with LOSI fuel in a LOSI, you're going to need some 30% VP Racing LOSI Nitrotane. Now this buggy retails brand new for $469. There's also a truggy model that comes with a bigger 0.28 pull start motor, a different body design, and obviously a different truggy style oriented suspension. Now this buggy, consider it brand new out of the box. I know I don't have the box right now, but consider this basically being brand new. Check out the suspension. I'm just going to press on it. Very nice front suspension, perfect amount of dampening in my opinion. The rear end, also very great dampening. I have no reason to believe that the owner messed or did anything with the shocks. The shocks are not aluminum like some higher end buggies, but they are threaded body shocks, and you don't need any kind of preload. Just adjust this collar, boom, there you go. You have a little more firmness or a little more ride height. Now, some of the, I guess, questionable decisions they've made for a buggy I could already see. These are non-adjustable fixed links. So none of your suspension geometry, usually toe in, caster, toe out type of stuff, will not be adjustable. There are still elements here that do give you a good amount of adjustment and value for the money. The front has sway bars. The rear also has sway bars. The shock towers do have some positions here in case you want to change the shock mounting positions, and the same thing on the bottom of the suspension arm itself. So you do have some adjustment functionality. That's no big deal. What really matters is the driveline. So I could see the front is a very good non-dog bone style CVD design, so you're not going to have problems with dog bones popping out on turns or jumps. And usually that is kind of a problem on certain HPI, you know, I would say more vintage models. Now condition wise, the bottom of the chassis is obviously brand new, right? I do find it a little bit weird that for a 1/8 scale buggy, LOSI chose to use a very small flywheel. Notice how far this flywheel is away from the bottom of the chassis. So unless you have a very good starter box, well, I guess you could say pretty much any starter box, this is going to be a little bit tougher than I would normally expect. Personally, I like when the flywheel is a little bit lower to the bottom of the chassis. That way you really don't have to kind of push a starter box too much. But starter boxes are not a problem. You know why? Because we got ourselves a 0.21 Dynamite pull start motor. It's actually quite sickening. Before I remove the body, let me show you a couple of the other things that came with this RC. So the owner did purchase a Dynamite pipe. I looked these up. These are like about $50. These happen to be very good mid-range pipe. You could see right here it says Dynamite mid-range inline exhaust system hard anodized. I gotta tell you, it's a killer looking pipe. I highly recommend you get this as well. Radio wise, these come with, some would say, pretty terrible Spectrum DX2E radios, but for my purposes it comes the radio and I'm happy. We will be testing out the stock servos and electronics in a little bit. I just want to say, for starting, I like the fact that you really don't have to take this body off, because I've already noticed another LOSI weird element design. So the front body clip is okay, right? It's not that hard to remove. I'm going to remove the front body clip. Check this out. It comes right out. That's piece of cake right there. Now the back body clip, it's recessed between the ridges of the body here in the back. I mean, this is actually kind of hard to remove. What they should have done is orient this body post in a different position. So they should have really just swung it 90 degrees this way, because for me to remove it, it's honestly a little bit tough. What happens is when you try to lift this up, okay, well, it does go up here. You know, this case it came out quite easy. But when you're trying to put this body clip back, what happens is, you know, you have to really kind of like shove it in there on an angle. It's just not very convenient. I don't know why they didn't put this body post hole to be accessible from this position. Either way, this is just you know, peanuts, really is irrelevant. The fact is, this body really doesn't need to be removed for anything. You have good access here to the fuel tank. You go like this, you got access to the fuel tank. Boom, you got your fuel. You have good access to the pull starter, and you're basically good to go. But for our purposes, we want to look at what's under the body, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's remove this. So it's also a little bit on this rough side to remove, because the cutout for the cooling head is just so close around here. Oh man. Yeah, so here we go. We finally got it removed. Right. So this is where LOSI is pretty much quite nice. They use a standard Spectrum servos. They are, I would say, adequate condition. There really here is nothing that interesting to look at. I'm just going to go over and give you my own, I guess, kind of bad and good type of stuff about this chassis. It does come with a very good 1600 milliamp hour capacity rechargeable pack that's hidden on here. I'm not going to show you now, but just take my word, rechargeable battery pack, very good. And RTR Nitros rarely even come with that for this price point. In fact, the brand new Savage doesn't even come with a battery pack or a AA battery holder. The bad thing is, are you ready for the bad thing? You see this driver, it's 1.5 millimeters. So most of the hex hardware, you guys could see right there, it's 1.5 millimeters. I do not know why LOSI would use such tiny little screws for nearly everything on a 1/8 scale Nitro chassis. Now these are 2 millimeter screws. Obviously my you know, driver here isn't working. These are 2 millimeters, but still, get ready to be very careful and use a very good driver with 1.5 millimeter screws. It's actually quite sickening. I do not know why they did that. Not everything is bad about the LOSI. Let's say something good about the LOSI. As I lift the fuel cap on the inside, take a look. There is an inline fuel filter, and the fuel filter is actually very similar design as the ones they use in gas RCs. It's like a clunk fuel filter. So you just clunk it in there, boom, it goes to work. You got nothing to worry about. So your fuel is going to be filtered. Now a lot of people, of course, they like to add inline fuel filters, and you can do that. I also like the fact that LOSI actually got the point and used nice clear fuel lines. A lot of manufacturers should start at least copying LOSI with clear fuel lines. That is actually a big advantage and benefit. Now, looking over the chassis, you know, it's a typical 1/8 scale Nitro Buggy chassis. Good suspension. It has a relatively normal 1/8 scale weight, I would say. I wouldn't say this feels very heavy, and it doesn't feel light at all, especially since they used a whole bunch of plastic. You would think it would feel lighter, but it actually doesn't feel any lighter. So let's test out the electronics. I'm going to power on the Spectrum radio here. Let's power on the car. Right, here we go. So we're looking at stock steering servos. I would say the speed is highly adequate, right? Highly adequate. This is no like high speed servos of any kind, but it's very good. Way better than a lot of HPI servos. Trust me, take my word on that. And as expected, Buggies always have adjustable rear and front brake bias. This case, it's no different. So you have a disc brake in the back of the driveline here, and you have a disc brake in the front of the driveline here. So if you wanted more braking, let's say with the front or less with the back, whatever the case is, you could easily adjust the brake bias. Very important for track conditions, but for all around general purpose use, you mostly want close to 50-50. Otherwise, you're going to get inadequate tire wear, and you're gonna be killing your tires, my dudes. We have standard 17mm hubs on the wheels, and the compound on the tire, it is very soft. So these are TLR, Team LOSI racing wheels. As expected, I like their nice little embossed logo here in the front. I gotta tell you, they used a whole bunch of shims over here for the steering servos. So if you look, the steering servo sitting on a whole bunch of shims. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just going to be a little bit annoying to get that back in there. I will say that the look of the hardware, let's say all of these little blue accents they used, is very nice. It's just a damn shame they used 1.5mm screws for a lot of the chassis components. Very weird. Another slightly unsatisfactory thing, I would say, you know, it's not the end of the world, but these nuts that they use all over for the shock tower mounting and the shocks, they have a very small surface area for you to grab onto. You notice the nut really doesn't protrude much, where you have a lot of surface area there in case you ever need to get in there, right? Remove something, right? Well, this is not the right wrench, but you guys understand. There's not a lot of surface area here for you to really work with. So getting a socket in there properly, it will work, but if you like round some of these nuts off, you're gonna have a problem. I will tell you that for sure. Let's take a look under the wheel. 17mm hubs, very nice. That means you can run basically a ton of different aftermarket wheels if you wanted to. Here we go. As expected, 17mm hub. I gotta tell you, very good front suspension setup. I could tell on top, good clean layout. Something I didn't really mention before, and I do like, very little slop in the front steering at all. It's very straight and centered. This will make it a very good turning car, a good handling car, and a good speed car once we do some top speed testing in the future. Gotta have those 17mm hubs, my dudes. Gotta have them. Just going to do a quick little startup demonstration just so we can see how great these Dynamite engines start. I'm going to be using the Sellers 30% Byron fuel. You know why? Because this Buggy was broken in with it, and my understanding is the motor just got broken in, so it's not a bad idea to run some of the original break-in fuel. Although as long as you're running proper modern fuel, it's not a big deal. Here we go. We got a little bit of fuel in there. Now I'm just going to prime it. This is all real live time starting right now for you guys, so you could all understand just how easy these things are to actually fire up and work with. All right, I'm gonna plug the exhaust. Let's observe fuel in this fuel line right here, and then we're gonna watch it enter the carb. Oh, there we go. I see the fuel right there. Boom. Just got into the carb. Perfect. cannot kill a LOSI Nitro. Look at that. It can idle like this as long as you want. .21 Nitro. We're at 184 live right now.
Sick.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna fire it up.
You went to John's to get that?
No, I just bought this used from a dude in Jersey.
Sick.
All right. That's right, guys. First start. What do you think about that? The motor is extremely rich, but it started up no problem. Whoa, a little accident. It's better, the brakes are very good. Oh, we got a slash over here. I don't think these guys know I don't have any reverse. Yeah, sickening. We got 206 people. Okay, guys, I'm going to hold it right now, and we're going to drive a little bit, but keep in mind, I'm not trying to kill it. There's a bunch of kids with electrics here, and it's kind of hard for me to drive here. I'm gonna lean it out a little more. What do you think about that, Nitro Gang? Yeah, the tires are very grippy. The idle is so good, and the return to like neutral is incredible. Yeah, but these things are so low geared that it's like kind of funny, to be honest with you. Yeah, guys, I got no reverse, so if you ever, I got no reverse, okay? So it's not like I'm trying to get you. All right. Yeah, just drive normal, go.
Wow, look at cars fast, man. Look at
Great handling, man. The brakes are incredible. I think I could destroy people with this. Yeah. Oh, little collision. It's okay, don't worry about it. It's good. We're gonna lean it out. Yeah.
beautiful.
It woke up a little.
Well, look at that. Woo! Nice. It's used, right? It's a used.
Well, the guy broke it in, but it's used, yeah. Nice, guys.
That's a beast, man.
That's like the cheapest one possible, by the way. I gotta slow down in the turns over there because people not trying to let me pass. We need taller gearing. The gearing is very low. What do you think? You want to get a nitro? Trying to get him to get a nitro, guys. I can't hear him. He's talking to me right now. Hold on, I gotta go up to him. Guys, the idle is incredible in this. Look at this. This is all like 1.5 tanks of fuel. Super straight acceleration too. Like you can launch it and it's ideal. Nice and rich in the turns. What do you think about that, my dudes? This is one-handed driving, by the way, this whole time. Man, I'm lucky. I'm really liking this chassis. Should you get one? Well, the right answer is you should get as many nitros for 2022 as you possibly can. Now this LOSI right here, 1/8 scale nitro buggy, 0.21 big block pull start. You can't go wrong, my dudes. There's a link to this in the video description from A-Main. They are in stock right now, and there's also the 0.28 Dynamite big block truggy version from A-Main, also in stock right now. In terms of upgrades and running these at the track, you can run rich and loud as long as you want. Now, there will be a lot more on this. We will be doing a top speed test. We will possibly be getting an upgraded engine with very nice high RPM. Most likely some kind of LRP or OS. You guys tell me in the comments what you want to see in this 1/8 scale nitro buggy, and I will do my best to make that happen. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Boom! If you smell what the NitroGang is cooking.